Okay, and your training certs? Hey,
So I've been with the Tucson Police Department since June of 2006. I went through the Southern Arizona Law Enforcement Training Center for about 16 weeks, which was completed in October of 2006, where I gained my certification as a Arizona police officer. I then completed a few weeks of post-academy training and then field training in the Patrol Division in Operations Division South. I worked patrol in Operations Division South for about 5 years before I became a member of the Community Response Team in 2011. I held that position for 3 years. I returned to patrol in about January of 2015. I then was promoted to the rank of detective in August of 2016, and I've been a detective since August of 2016.
Okay, and have you had any constitutional? When was your last constitutional training?
Wow, specific to the Constitution. I mean, I recall being trained in the Constitution in the Academy in 2006. I'm sure that other constitutional things have come up along the way in my 19 years, but specifically I can recall in the Academy, yes.
Do you have any related? When was your last training related to First Amendment auditors, cop watching, things of that nature?
I don't recall.
Have you had any?
Um, I'm not sure if I had any. I know that we often review the First Amendment of the Constitution, right, which is the right to free speech and expression. I just don't recall if I had any or when it would have occurred.
Uh, do you know the rest of those? Freedom of press too, as well. You agree?
It's not coming to me now.
Oh, on the First Amendment,
Uh-huh.
freedom of press.
Yep, freedom of press is part of it. Yep.
Oh,
Thanks for
okay.
reminding me.
So, and then you had training way back in the day. So you guys haven't had any more training on anything that had to do with that First Amendment training, or?
It's possible that I have, like I said, I've been on the department 19 years, and I can't recall specifically when I would have had training since then on that amendment or the Bill of Rights.
Alrighty then. Let's see. So let's see. Have you had any disciplinaries?
I'm not going to answer that. I'm only going to answer questions that are related to my involvement in TPD case 24110800058, and my involvement occurred on November 14th, 2024, and December 16th, 2024.
Yeah, that's correct. And do you have any disciplinaries?
I'm not going to answer that question
Why won't you answer that question?
because that doesn't involve
It involves
internal
you
on the.
on this
I'm not
case,
answering it.
and I need to
Okay,
know if you have any
I'm not answering
disciplinaries,
that
and I
question.
need to know if you're on the Brady list.
Okay, then you can have a judge subpoena me for a deposition, but I am not answering that question as it does not relate to my involvement on November 14th,
You being
December
involved,
16th.
you being involved, I should be able to know if you've had any disciplinaries or if you've had any.
You can go through the Office of Professional Standards at the Tucson Police Department located at 270 South Stone if you have concerns about that.
I
I'm
am.
not
I
answering
am.
that
I'm
question.
talking directly to him, and I'm talking directly to the source. And
Okay, you
you
have
need to
that right.
answer,
I'm not.
sir. Listen,
That's
listen, listen, listen,
Patrick.
listen. Let me tell you something, sir.
I don't
This
have
is
to
my
answer
case, and
questions.
this is the way I'm going to run it. And these are the things that I
No,
need
no,
for
no, 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 no.
exculpatory
As a
evidence.
witness,
You
I
do
don't
not.
need to
You do
talk.
not tell me what I answer, what I ask, and what I don't ask. You're not my lawyer. You're not fighting my case. This is the way
I'm a
my
witness.
case is
I
run.
don't
This is
have to answer that.
exculpatory evidence, and I need to know if you're capable or competent to stand trial. I need to
I don't
know.
have to answer that.
Of course you do. I need to know if you're on the Brady list.
Then you can find out. You know that.
And I'm asking you.
You right, and I told you I'm not answering, but you have another way of figuring it out.
Oh yeah, and that's by directly asking you.
Yep. And
This
you can
is a
go to
this
the
is an
Office of
interview,
Professional
sir. This is
Standards
an interview. I don't,
located at
sir.
270
Let's
South
get
Stone.
something straight right off the bat. There's going to be a lot of questions that you don't agree with or that you don't like, but it doesn't matter, sir. You're going to have to answer those because of the simple
No,
fact that
I don't have to answer
this
to
is
you,
my
but I
case,
will answer to a
sir.
judge.
Withhold
You can
evidence,
ask
or
the
you
judge
cannot
to
hold
subpoena
withhold
me for
things
a
that I need.
deposition, but I'm not answering these questions.
You
I'm
cannot
only answering
withhold
questions that
exculpatory
relate.
evidence that I need, sir. You cannot
I
do
don't
that.
have to answer that question. Patrick, if this is how the interview is going to go, I'm going to end it and hang up the call. If
We're
that's
just going to have it
so
again.
tough to
we're just going to have it again. You can't run from this. As much as you want to run from this, as much as you don't want to answer these questions, you have to by law. So
next question, Patrick.
oh yeah. All right. So have you had any trespassing? When was the last time you guys had trespassing classes or anything like that?
I don't recall.
You don't recall? Do you have any certificates?
I don't recall.
Oh yeah. So how do we help you recall that? Emails? Or do you the name of the person that gave you the class? Because we're not gonna go through this whole interview with you not being able to know anything about anything. These are exculpatory questions that I need for my case.
If I don't remember if I've had trespassing training, then that's my answer.
Do you know what trespassing law is?
Doesn't mean that it's not a response.
Do you know what the trespassing law is?
Yes.
All right, can you recite the trespassing law for me, please?
No, I'm not going to recite the law.
Why not?
Because I'm not going to do that. I'm going to answer questions as related to my involvement on November 14th, 2024 and December 16th.
Sir, you don't get to tell me what questions I can and can't ask. If you don't know the trespassing, do you know trespassing law?
Mr. Gonzalez. It's clear that you have never conducted a telephonic interview before.
It's clear that you have never, you have no control. You have no control.
If you want answers to questions that I am telling you that I'm not answering, you have to go to a judge who will then subpoena me for a deposition, at which point I will have to tell a judge the answer to the questions.
So you don't know how it works. If you don't answer these questions,
are not related to my involvement on November.
This is related to your involvement. You're involved into this case. You're involved into this case. Whether you like to try and scoot your way out of it, you're not. You have answers. You have to answer these questions. You have to answer these questions. If you don't want to answer these questions, then we could always have. Did you have your body camera running that day?
I don't recall.
Were you on or off duty?
Which day?
November 14th.
On November 14th, as my supplement states, I was working in an off-duty capacity at the Tucson City Court located at 103 East Alameda.
Okay, and what's the name of is the off-duty company? It's an off-duty company, a third-party company that you're working for, correct?
Yes, it is a third-party company that it's kind of different because the Tucson City Court is actually an overtime gig, so it is technically a city overtime off-duty position.
Oh, so you guys ain't off-duty, you're working.
So I don't go through the third-party company to work that gig. I don't have to sign up through them. I don't have to use their software. It's through the city and through our time management system.
All right, so you're saying you're still working as a police officer?
Correct, yes. I would have been in full uniform, working as a police officer with arrest capabilities on that day, November 14th, 2024.
Were you on duty or off duty?
So I was in an off-duty capacity, wearing a uniform with arrest abilities.
Working security for the Tucson City Court, correct?
Yeah, I guess that's how you can call it, yeah.
All right, so can I get the name of the third party? So how does that work? How does that work as far as you're saying that you're off duty, but you're still on duty, working for Tucson Police Department?
Correct, working for the city of Tucson, yes.
All right, and so you're...
So it's not my normal shift, so it's an extra shift that's picked up that I get paid overtime from the city, working in the capacity as a police officer. So it's extra duty, but it is because of the position being a city overtime position, it doesn't go through the third-party company for scheduling.
So you're on duty working for... I don't get that. Either you're on duty or you're off duty.
Okay, and it can be confusing to some people, but that's the best that I was able to answer it.
All right, so if you're off duty and you're working overtime, Doesn't that mean you're on duty?
It's extra duty.
It's extra duty, but you're off duty or you're on duty? You're working as a security guard, correct, for the Tucson City Court?
I'm working as a police officer in somewhat of a security capacity at Tucson City Court, yes, for overtime, which would be hours in excess of my 40 hours of regular responsibility elsewhere.
So off duty, you still work as a cop, you're saying?
Correct.
And you're still hired out to Tucson City Court off duty?
Something like that.
How does that work? How does something like that? Could you explain it to me?
Like, how do I get the position, or I'm not understanding your question.
Yeah, how do you get that position then?
So somebody with the Tucson Police Department or a non-civilian would send out an email saying that this position is open and that police officers can submit memos to work that position. And then somebody like myself would be selected based off of seniority for a permanent spot. So I was selected to work Thursday afternoons at Tucson City Court at 103 East Alameda. It's off duty because it's outside of my normal 40 hours, but the payment type is an overtime rate and paid through the city, not paid through a third-party company.
So when you're working at the Tucson City Court, are you on duty or off duty?
Patrick, I've already answered that question.
No, you're telling me that you're on duty and off duty. You tell me that you're both because you're wearing a uniform.
Correct. The term that they use is off-duty. Other police departments around the country call it moonlighting. It's a different term depending on where you're at and what department you work for. But even though I'm still in uniform, it's considered off-duty because it's outside of my normal 40-hour work week where I have other responsibilities. So it's extra.
And you say civilians could do it? Could hire you?
No, I'm saying a civilian would have been the one who sent out the email seeking interest from sworn police officers for this position.
All right. And so whenever you get that, could you go in regular clothes or do you have to go in uniform?
No, I have to go in uniform.
You have to go in uniform?
Correct.
So what's the department of that place that sends you the email letting you know that there's a...
Oh, it's called, I believe it was the off-duty, the off-duty section. Again, that's the term that the department uses.
No, that's not what I'm asking you, sir. Let me ask you again.
Okay.
Can I get the name of the person that gives you the emails?
I don't recall the person, but they're part of the off-duty department.
All right, so did you receive emails or did you receive a call or did you receive a text? How did you receive that?
So this occurred years ago. So I've been assigned to this position for probably 5 or 6 years now. So I don't recall specifically who sent the email, but I know that they worked for the off-duty.
All right, so since you don't want to answer the question, when was the last time you worked for the Tucson City Court?
This past Thursday.
All right, so this past Thursday, when you got an email stating that there was a job opening for you to go work, off duty or on duty? Off duty?
That's not how it occurred. You're not listening to me. I said I've been doing this for 5 or 6 years, so it was a one-time email that came from a non-sworn member of the off-duty department within the Tucson Police Department. I submitted my interest, and I was personally selected to work it every single Thursday. So I don't get a new email, I don't get a new phone call, I don't have to go into any software to request the job. It's been mine for 5 or 6 years every Thursday afternoon.
All right, so nonetheless, would you be able to produce those emails?
I cannot produce those emails. No, it's like I said, 5 or 6 years old.
There's no paperwork with that? No. I'm gonna need that paperwork, or I'm gonna need the emails. And I'm gonna need to see how you could work off duty, moonlighting, and also on duty at the same time, which you can't. You're hired as a security. Whenever you go work over there, are you taking body cams with you?
Yes.
All right. Are you taking the walkie-talkies with you?
The city court does provide officers with a walkie-talkie, yes.
Are you on duty or off duty at that point?
Off duty.
All right. So you're off duty, wearing a cop uniform, working security for the Tucson City Court. Is that correct?
In essence.
In essence, it's got to be a yes or a no, sir.
It doesn't have to be a yes or a no. I used the word in essence.
You can't answer the question?
It's not a simple answer. It's I'm working.
It is a simple answer, sir. Are you working off duty in a cop uniform, working security for the Tucson City Court? It's not a hard.
You're still not understanding the off-duty term. I'm not on duty and off duty. I'm working in an off-duty capacity outside of my normal 40-hour work week.
You're working off duty.
Correct. In an off-duty capacity.
For Tucson City Court, correct?
I can't explain it to you any better.
For Tucson City Court, correct? Every Thursday.
City Court.
Huh?
Yes. At Tucson City Court, but Tucson City Court does not pay my bill. It's the city of Tucson that pays the overtime.
So you're working off duty you're working security at the Tucson City Court.
In essence.
It's a yes or no question. Are you working security in essence? What do you mean by in essence?
Patrick, I've answered your
No.
question.
This is another question. What do you mean by in essence when you say that?
Like I said before, it's not an easy answer because you're having a hard time.
No, I got plenty of time. We got plenty of time for you to answer that.
I know you do, but I do not.
Yeah, so what, you do not have time or you just don't want to answer it?
We are 19 minutes now into this.
It don't matter. You could look at the clock as much as you want, sir. I got a whole stack of questions right here to ask you. You listen, sir. You don't control the time. You don't control the time and tell me how I'm going to run my case. You answer the questions that I answer. I don't answer your questions. I don't speak to you. I ask the questions. You answer them. Period.
You're wasting your 11 minutes that you have left.
You don't get to tell me how much longer I have. I get to do the whole case with you. I get to do this whole case with you. We haven't even got to what you have done during that day. We're still running around in circles trying to figure out if you know what trespassing means or not. Huh?
You have 11 minutes left.
Sir, you could go ahead and say you got 11 minutes left, but you're going to have to do another call with me. You can't hinder my investigation or my questioning that I have for you. You don't tell me what questions I can and can't answer you. I don't care if you feel uncomfortable with them. I don't care about any of that stuff. You have to answer these questions, whether you like it or not. This is exculpatory to my case. You wanted to open your mouth and run some. So on that day, sir, what did you see me do on that day?
10 minutes left.
Shut up. On November 14th, what did you see me do on that day?
That is your second disparaging comment. The third one, I'm going to hang up.
Listen, you don't get to tell me. November 14th.
You don't get to talk to me like that. I don't have to listen to this, and I can simply press the red button that hangs up this conversation.
And we're still going to have to go through this again. You can't run from this. You can't run from this. Now, I asked you a question. Now answer it. On November 14th, what did you see me do?
As my supplement says, I observed you outside the courthouse with other people to include Roy Tripolini, Mark Brown, Randy Rich, and Mark Kelly. I watched as you, Mr. Gonzalez, leaned against the window that faces into the security area. You placed a cellular telephone on the window as if to record people entering the courthouse through the security metal detectors.
All right. Was that illegal?
It was in response to your conditions of release from November 8th, where the judge or the magistrate said you were not to return to the incident location.
All right. So did you try and talk to somebody about that?
I talked to a city prosecutor in December about that, yes.
What was the city prosecutor's name?
Zapata.
First name?
Heather.
Heather Zapata?
Uh-huh.
And what did she tell you? Or first of all, so you see me just recording outside of the building, right? Through the window is what you're saying?
Correct. And you physically pressed up against the window, and then you walked over to the front door, and you physically touched the front door to look inside that window as well.
Was that all illegal? Is that
It was against your conditions of release from a judge or a magistrate on November 8th that said not to return to the incident location. You physically touched the location, which,
all right?
in my opinion,
And
is a violation of your conditions of release.
so, when you talk to Heather Zapata, and she works for the city prosecutor's office, right?
Correct.
What's her position?
She's a prosecuting attorney.
All right, and she doesn't. That's just it. Prosecuting attorney. She don't have no special kind of rank.
She's probably a supervisor there.
Okay, so when you talk to Heather Zapata, what did she tell? And what did you tell her?
I presented her with the information from this case that you were arrested on November 8th, that I observed you at the location on November 14th, physically touching the building, and that I provided, actually I don't know if I provided her with it, but I advised her that the conditions of release stated that you are not to return to the incident location.
And did you talk to her by phone, email, person?
By phone.
All right, and you called her?
Yes.
Okay, and what did she tell you in response to what you just said?
Her response was that she was not going to move forward with the charge of interfering with judicial proceedings.
And do you know what interjudicial proceedings, interfering with interjudicial proceedings means? Can you tell me what that?
It means you're going against a judge's order, and that judge's order was from your conditions of release on November 8th that said not to return to the incident location.
And as in reference to what crime? This crime? These alleged crimes that I'm being accused of?
No, it would be in regards to the conditions of release from the judge.
And why didn't Heather Zapata move forward?
I can't go to her mental state. You'd have to talk to her about that.
Oh, she didn't tell you?
She declined to issue the charges.
And why would that be?
You'd have to ask her.
I'm asking you.
Okay, well, I've answered that question.
No, you didn't answer the question, or else I wouldn't be asking you again.
You have 6 minutes left, Mr. Gonzalez.
Listen, you could say whatever you want. I'm just going to go ahead and get you to do this all over again. You have no control here, whether you like it or not. Szelewski or whatever your name is. You don't run stuff here. You don't tell me what questions I could answer. You don't tell me any of that stuff. You answer the questions that I ask you. You don't.
And I already answered it twice.
You answered it twice? You answered it twice.
Yes, I did.
All right, so whenever you were talking to her on the phone, what did you tell her about me?
I told her about the case, and that you were arrested on November 8th, so this is my second time giving you the same answer, and that you returned on November 14th, and then I observed you physically touch the building twice, and that your conditions of release, signed by a judge or a magistrate, that you were not to return to the incident location. And
when you told her that, what was her response to you?
She declined to move forward with the charges. I've answered that question a third time.
And why you don't get to tell me, you don't get to dictate how much time I get to talk to you. Okay? Let's just get that straight right now. I could ask you whatever I want, as long as it's exculpatory to my case, which you wanted to run your mouth in. That's what it is. You involved yourself in my case. You involved Heather Zapata in my case. And it's you. You running your mouth is why you're here. So, is recording inside the courthouse, what is the procedure of recording inside the courthouse?
You're fully aware of it over and over again.
What is the procedure of recording inside the courthouse?
Which is Rule 122 from the Arizona Supreme Court.
I'm asking you what the procedure is for the Tucson City Court.
There's no recording allowed at the Tucson City Court unless you have specific written permission from the head magistrate at City Court.
From the head magistrate?
Correct.
And where does it say that at?
In the documentation that you've been given over and over again.
What documentation is that, sir?
That pamphlet that we give you and every time you come and record inside Tucson City Court.
I don't know which pamphlet you're talking about, sir. Could you let me know what pamphlet you're talking about?
Okay. 4 minutes. Three minutes.
That's not how it goes down. You don't get to tell me how long we could talk, sir. I'm asking you questions about this case. You can't run from this. What was are you grabbing that? Is that what you're doing?
Am I doing what?
You said that you're going to grab a pamphlet and tell me what pamphlet you were talking about? Because I don't know what pamphlet you're talking about.
I didn't say I was grabbing anything. I said that you have been given that pamphlet.
What pamphlet is that, sir?
Series of papers.
What pamphlet? That's hearsay, sir. You don't even know what pamphlet you're talking about. What pamphlet is it? I don't even know what a pamphlet is. Is it for the city court?
I can't answer your question if you keep interrupting me. So apparently you don't want me to answer questions.
All right, answer the question.
The answer is that there is a series of documents at Tucson City Court that is readily available for when First Amendment auditors come to the court and want to record. And we provide it with them just about every time they're there, so that they can't say that they're not provided with it. And if they
have you ever provided me with those pamphlets?
Again, you're interrupting me.
Have you ever provided me with those pamphlets? What pamphlet are you talking about? I don't understand. Does it have a number to it?
2 minutes. I can't answer when you keep interrupting me. 2 minutes, Mr. Gonzalez.
You don't get to tell me 2 minutes, sir. I have a lot of questions to ask you. You don't get to dictate how much time you get to answer or what questions you get to answer. What's the name of the pamphlet that we're supposedly given, that I'm supposedly given? You claim that I've been given a pamphlet, right? I don't know what pamphlet you're talking about. And did you hand me that said pamphlet?
No, I did not physically hand you that pamphlet.
All right. Do you know what Rule 122.1 is, sir?
Yes, it's the Arizona Supreme Court rule that says there's no recording in the courthouse.
All right. So where does it say that? Where does it say that there's no audio, that there's no video or audio recording inside the courthouse?
In the rule that you just...
Yeah, in the rules, I want you to tell me where it's at, point it out to me. Tell me where it says we're not allowed to record inside the Tucson City Court.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. I don't have that in front of me since this is a telephonic interview.
Excuse me, sir, did you just burp on the phone right now? You better show some professionalism, Mr. I'm a detective. You better show some professionalism.
You've got 1 minute, Mr.
I do not have 1 minute. I'm asking you a question.
Yes, you do.
What does Rule 122.1C state? Can you read that for me?
I don't have... let me see if I can pull that up on the computer.
All right, yeah. So while you're pulling it up on the computer, can you show me where 122.1 states that we are not allowed to record inside the courthouse?
All right, let's see. There's a 122, and then the request to cover a proceeding. Is that what you're asking?
122.1 C.
Yeah, okay. Oh, 1C. I'm sorry. No, I see a 1, and then it goes down to
122.1 C.
Yeah, what I'm looking at doesn't have the 1. I have an A for purpose, B for definitions, then I have a...
You're not listening, sir. Listen. 122.1 C.
Denial of coverage, the impact of coverage upon the safety and
Sir.
That's 1C. I'm trying to explain to you what I'm looking at.
You're not looking at the right thing. You're not listening to what I'm telling you.
Okay.
Are you looking up Arizona ARS Rule 122.1 C?
Oh, yeah, I do have 122. Hang on, let me see if I can pull it.
122.1, sir.
Okay. All right, let me put in 122.1 and see it. All right, let's see here. Let's see what it says. It's thinking.
122.1, sir.
Okay.
So I could already see you that because, you know.
I got the same thing here. Photography and audio or video recording, is that?
Yes.
Okay, and then it says photography, audio recording, and video recording in a courthouse are permitted, but the following restrictions apply.
Do you see where it says are permitted?
Let's see. Are permitted, but. Yes, it then has a comma, and then it's followed by the word but.
All right, so but.
Which means there are restrictions.
So what are the restrictions? There's 3 of them right there.
Yeah, so one, in a courtroom. In a courtroom, no one may use a portable electronic device to take photographs or for audio or video recording unless that use is allowed under Rule 122. So it already says you can't have that in a courtroom.
That's in a courtroom. All right, correct.
All right.
So we're talking about a courthouse.
Okay, so would you like me to read number 2? Number 2 says outside a courtroom, in areas of a courthouse other than courtrooms, no one may photograph or record an individual without that individual's express consent. And then there's a third one. Do you want me to read the third one?
Yep.
Okay, that one says local orders. By local administrative order, a court may adopt further reasonable limits on photography and audio or video recording in a courthouse that are not consistent with this rule or with Rule 122. So that's giving the authority of Tucson City Court to come up with their own rules.
No, that's not what it says, sir. It says 122.1. It says the court administration can adopt orders, but it can't be inconsistent with 122.1. It can't be inconsistent.
Video recording in a courthouse that are not inconsistent.
According to this, according to Rule 122.1, C, sir, are we allowed to record in the courthouse?
I just read in a courtroom it says no one may do that in a courtroom, and then outside a courtroom it says no one may photograph or record an individual without their consent. So my answer would be no, you can't.
Would you be able to our officers? Can you record an officer in the courthouse?
It says no one may photograph or record an individual.
So you consider yourself an individual?
I would say that.
Or are you working? Are you working for the Tucson Police Department off duty at that point?
Who are you asking about? Me or
you? I'm asking about you.
Oh, okay, I haven't been recorded.
All right, so listen, sir. 122.1 says, see, it says that video recording in a courthouse is permitted. You just can't record in the courtrooms. And you can't, and outside the courtrooms, you can't record any individual without that individual's express consent.
Okay.
All right. So, as an officer of the law, am I allowed to record you?
Well, I would consider myself and other officers individuals, so I would say that you would, according.
You're not an individual, sir. Do you have Rule 122.1?
You would have to have that individual's express consent.
Do you have an individual as a person or a corporation except the courts? You working for the courts, sir, makes you the courts.
Okay, and I'm not sure where you're getting that from, but
that's 122. Do you have 122 right there, sir?
Yeah,
it's got the definitions of a person.
I don't see the definition of a person. I see a portable electronic device.
122, Rule 122, 5. B5. 122 B5.
I'm not showing a B5. I'm showing a B1, 2, and 3.
Rule 122, 5, or B5.
All right. Well, maybe it's just this website then or something. Let me see if I can specifically look for that. 122.1 B5.
No, Rule 122. B5.
Yeah.
That gives you the definitions of a person and an individual that you claim to be working off duty.
No. Hang on. Let's see if it comes up now. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that was on a different page here. A person includes an individual and any organization except the court.
Except the court. And you've already stated, so you're working off duty for the court. Even on duty, are you allowed?
I wasn't the victim in this case, so I'm not sure why you're referring to me.
Because you claim to be the individual, as far as not being able, like you said that inside Tucson City Court, that we're not allowed to record you because you're claiming to be an individual.
Okay.
All right. So, do you agree right here? A person includes an individual or any organization except the court. Do you agree with that?
A person includes an individual and any organization except the court.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd have to think about it and look into it more. I can't give you.
Do you agree with the? Do you agree with the what the rules say right here, in black and white?
I don't. I'm not sure that it's black and white.
So what is it about a person that you disagree with as far as an individual organization except the court? So you agree that you work for the court, correct?
Well, it's saying the
Yeah.
court.
All right.
It's not. It doesn't say court employees.
It's the court, the whole court employees, court security, the janitor, all that stuff, all the court security, everybody that works for the court. You all make the pod go round.
You asked me my opinion how I interpret.
No, it's not the opinion. I didn't ask you your opinion. I've never asked for your opinion once. I want facts out of your mouth.
For an answer. You asked for
not an opinion. I don't want to hear your opinions. I want to hear the facts.
3:37 and this interview is over.
No, it's not over. I want to hear the facts. Bitch. Yeah, so I knew that was going to go like that, guys. So I knew that was going to go like that because that's how they usually are, because they just don't want to answer any questions and they think they have control when they really don't. Yeah. You know, so I knew I wasn't going to get anywhere good with him today. I'm just going to have to get him back, and he's going to have to come back and answer these questions. So whenever he does, and the judge finally tells him that he needs to fucking call back and answer these questions and not dick around the way he did, because we absolutely got nothing, and I knew I was absolutely going to get nothing. But that's all right. That's how the game's played. I knew it was going to happen. So therefore, I have to go back before the judge, and I have to make the judge. And it's just slowing up my case is the thing. Is these dudes think that they don't have to answer. They're used to just fucking people over on the street and then them just taking a plea deal. They cannot stand this shit. If everybody out here in Tucson got in trouble and then went and took these guys and made them fucking answer for what they got, for what they did. See, the thing is he wasn't going to answer anything right off the bat. So I already knew what it was going to be, and I already knew that he was going to end up twisting off at some point. But like I said, I'll just have to go to the judge and make him and compel him, because he's hindering my case, my due process, and things of that nature. I have a lot of questions. He feels like he doesn't have to answer those, but he does. Because if he doesn't answer them here, then he's going to answer them on the stand. You know what I mean? But he thinks that he cannot answer them now, fuck up my whole case until I get to the stand. And then what, he expects to just lay down truths on the stand without, I don't know what the fuck these dudes think. But yeah, so this guy is saying that he kept saying that I touched the fucking building physically twice. That's retarded as fuck. I mean, even if I touched it twice, even if I was dry humping the motherfucker, it doesn't fucking matter. It's just funny how he puts words in there like that. And he thinks that it's going to stick or that it's going to hang.
Put the thing on you. Switch it on you so you're not showing the whole house.
Sorry, I wasn't even.
What the heck, man?
All right, yeah, so. But yeah. I already knew it was going to happen. This was actually a nobody, this guy right here. This is actually just a dude. All he did was whenever I got arrested November 8th by Chicken Hawk or Weingrad and Nepper, right? For recording Nepper. Nepper had beat me up, and that was the first time I seen Nepper. I took his ass all the way to trial. I beat like 3 or 4 cases that day with like 2 or 3 charges each on each case. And then Nepper, and then I beat that fucking case, and Nepper put me in the hospital and all kinds of shit, right? And Nepper went, and I went to a court date, Tucson Toe Tag's court date, and just supporting Toe Tag, you know. And I heard this cop on the stand, and I was listening to him, and I was like, man, that sounds exactly how I got fucked over, like how this cop's talking. And I was like, is that Nepper? And because I only met him that one day, and he beat my ass, and it was that night, right? And so I was like, is that Nepper? And then it was Nepper, right? So Nepper leaves. So that's the first time I seen Nepper was at Toe Tags, and it was the exact same shit that Nepper did to me, except for I beat my case, and they kept Toe Tags at the Tucson City Court. So even at this justice court, I don't expect to win. This judge is dirty. He's no good. And Laura Conover, she's no good. I haven't even got my discovery or anything. Look at, I'm doing interviews on witnesses, and I don't even have all my disclosure or anything like that. Laura Conover hasn't even given me a discovery. She hasn't even given me she hasn't given me a witness list. She hasn't given me anything. Like, Laura Conover has not done anything. And I put in motions to compel and all kinds of shit. And this Judge Foreman, he's just a puppet on strings, man. There's no way I'll ever be found guilty or innocent in this court under this judge. There's no way. Absolutely zero chance. And he knows it. And he's doing everything he can to keep it in this court. But yeah, I don't know, guys. It's all fucked. And I knew it was going to happen. And I got an interview today. Interview tomorrow. I get to interview fucking Weingrad, that fucking tyrant. Chicken hawk. He thinks he's all tough, little fucking small little pussy. But I get to interview that fucking guy. And then I got Castillo, I think, on Wednesday. And then I got Nepper, like, on Thursday. And then I'm trying to get Sergeant Sachs, but Sergeant Sachs acts like he doesn't have to talk to anybody or anything like that. So Sergeant Sachs, he's been ignoring my motions to interview, my attorney interviews. And also, Antonio Zapata, so it's not Antonio Zapata. It's Heather Zapata is the person that needs to be talked to find out why. See, because then they're real 50 and all their motions. See, like, he's gonna have to answer the questions next time I get to talking to this dude. Next time I get to talking to this dude, he's gonna have to answer that shit. He's gonna have to answer that. And that's the reason I didn't ask him, really trying to dig down into those questions at all, because he wasn't not going to answer any of them. That's why I was like, so what did you see? And he's trying to make it sound like, oh, he was outside the fucking... What he was saying is I was outside the fucking courthouse and I had my camera looking through the glass. He says I touched the building twice, which doesn't fucking matter, but he said I touched the building twice. I think he says I rubbed my face on the fucking building or on the window or something. So I'm pretty sure he's got fucking, my face imprint off the fucking window. But he doesn't. He's just running his fucking mouth, talking shit, trying to make himself sound all good. But he's going to have to answer the questions about trespassing. He's going to have to answer the questions about Arizona Supreme Court. Rule 122.1, he's going to have to answer the questions on the First Amendment and also off that court administrative policy. All the questions that he didn't want to answer. He'll answer any questions, but as soon as you answer him a question that he doesn't like, I guess that takes 10 minutes off your call. So maybe I should just give him all the questions that I have written down, copy them, and send them to him and say, hey, whatever are these questions that you feel like answering, bro, just go ahead and answer any of those questions that you feel like answering. And if you don't feel like answering the rest of them, it don't matter. Just send them back to me. Thank you. Appreciate it. No, but for some reason, this little fucking faggot thinks he's got pull, but he doesn't. So I knew it was going to happen. I didn't want to dig into him too hard about the questions. I wanted to try and get as much as I could because he thinks there's a time limit. There's no time limit. You just don't say you got this amount of time to talk to me, or you got 5 more minutes. You got 10 more minutes. Nah, that's not how shit plays. I'm totally mad right now. Totally fucking mad. I feel like destroying Tuck's whole fucking kitchen. But I won't. Yeah, and this is what they do. Like, see, like all the interviews that I've ever done with the officers and stuff like that, like you ask them, pay attention to it. You ask them, their name and all that bullshit, and then you ask them their certifications and stuff like that, right? And then these motherfuckers will rattle off for fucking 15 fucking minutes about stupid fucking shit, right? And then also tell you, oh yeah, like, do you got certifications in constitutional training? Oh yeah, well, he's saying that all their constitutional trainings from what do you say, 2006, and they've never had any constitutional training or never anything on First Amendment audits or anything about people recording in the courthouse and none of that stuff. Like, he doesn't have any of that stuff, right? And what did he say? If I want to find out the email, then I gotta get a subpoena or whatever to get it fucking. So I'll do whatever I have to do to get all the emails and everything that he has right there, because I want to know when's the last time they had this training, how long ago. It's just all bullshit. It's just all bullshit. What you hear is this fucking me on these interviews just trying to make. They say I don't know, so they stick with I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. So if you hit them with all the different questions about their training and this and that they're supposed to know all this stuff that they're arresting people on, but they don't know, you know, it's retarded. I don't know what to say. I'm just mad inventing right now. You know, so I don't really know what the fuck's gonna go on. But all what I do know, and seeing this, and this judge is so fucked up and she's just so sorry. There's nothing I can say to this judge. He'll never be on my side. He'll never grant me anything. He's just a piece of shit all the way around. And I don't know what to say. I'm fucking mad. I am mad. But it's all right, though, because he thinks he doesn't have to. He thinks he's got some kind of control. And then the thing is you hear him say that he was off duty and on duty at the same time. And you hear him say that the third-party company is the Tucson Police Department, that they rent people out, moonlighting, off duty. You hear him say that shit? You know, which I think is illegal and shit like that. You know what I mean? Because you can't be double dipping into the federal taxes and shit like that. You can't be doing that shit. So that's why the police department goes through a third party source. And that third party source, that email that he doesn't want to give me or say the name of the persons that hire him and stuff like that, they're off duty cops or law enforcement or military or something like that. And they work directly with Tucson Police Department, renting out fucking cops to Tucson City Court. He's saying he has arrestable duties off duty. We all have arrestable duties off duty. You know? But he thinks that because he's off duty, he's still a cop. He's not a cop off duty. You hear him, he didn't want to say nothing about his walkie-talkie because the walkie-talkies that he gets from the security is like one that you get from Bass Pro Shop or the Pro Bass Shop. Little camouflage fucking walkie-talkie that any of us can go get for 30, 40 bucks. You know? So these cops are working off duty at the Tucson City Court, fucking people up is all they're doing. And then they're acting behind ignorance like they don't know. You know, so I'm gonna get off this shit, but they're gonna have to figure that shit out. And he thinks that it's over, but it's not. And he thinks that he doesn't have to answer for anything, and he does. So, yep. And so he likes to say shit. Oh, you were doing this and you were doing that, and here's the law behind it. But he can't tell you what the law. He can't tell you what the law is that he just trying to charge me with. And you know what it was is. She told him, listen, stop being a fucking pussy, dude. They're outside on the sidewalk, taking pictures from the outside of the building, looking in. And I don't give a fuck if they're touching it, kicking the wall or whatever. They're not hurting the fucking wall. They're not doing well, not kicking it really, but they're not doing anything to the fucking wall. Stop crying, see? But he doesn't want to say, oh, you have no case or you can't do anything. When in 50.4, it says that you can't even record outside the building. You can't record the building from the outside. You can't even record their parking lot. You can't record anything that has to do with the Tucson City Court, anything. And so the pamphlet that he was talking about is 50.4. But see, he doesn't even know what pamphlet he's talking about. He doesn't know anything. And he's not going to answer any questions if I tried to hit on him. So we're just going to have to go that route with the court and put it in. And if they don't allow me to interview these witnesses, then what kind of case do I got? Does it matter to these fucking courts? It doesn't. Yeah, yeah, Popeyes. This is you guys watch it on YouTube and shit like that, but we live this shit every fucking day, and we're in and out of this fucking court, and there's so much like I'm a Charro Negro, right? And I'm a freedom fighting motherfucker, and anybody that knows me knows I'm a freedom fighting motherfucker. But you don't see me putting all kinds of shit out and this and that. There's a lot of behind the scenes shit that we all do that doesn't end up on this motherfucker. And I'll tell you what, like if you want to deal with dirty ass motherfucking cops and all this and that, it stresses you out. Stresses you out, motherfuckers. And everybody's watching right now in Tucson. And it's no different. I mean, it's like that every single fucking courtroom. Like you see, go back and watch my court videos and you'll see that these court videos that I'm dealing with on these charges right here, you'll see how they just try and railroad you into a fucking charge. And Laura Conover, see, the thing is they got this petition going through to reverse 122.1. So here's what's crazy, and Tuck brings it up all the time, but it's the fucking truth, and it's crazy to think about. But Rule 122 states a bunch of things that we're allowed to do as far as recording and these and that, right? 122.c, we just went over the shit on with this fucking tyrant cop. But anyways, we're allowed to record inside the courthouse. We're just not in the courtrooms. And then no individual without that individual's consent. And you heard this fucking detective that's been working on since 1947 at the fucking police department, been a fucking detective for 20-some fucking years. You hear what this motherfucker says. So they don't know what the fuck. He actually thinks that you can't record officers, right? See, it's convenient for these off-duty officers to be off duty. But it's also convenient when they want to fucking act like they have control and all this other bullshit to act like they're on duty, So they like to play both fields, and on these fucking tapes and everything that you're going to hear with this case, you're going to hear them saying, I'm on duty. A cop never goes off duty is what they say. So that's the little fucking words. Even though they're off duty, they act like they act like that all the time. I can't imagine. They probably don't have no friends. Their old ladies probably like, God, I'm sick of this dude. He's such a pussy. But yeah. So this dude he's working security. He knows he's working security. And and they don't like to answer questions, right? So they think that they could just say, I don't know, or maybe, and that's an answer. It's not a fucking answer, and it's not how it's gonna play out. And if they don't give me these answers before I go to trial, then there's going to be some real fucking shit to pay me because it's got to be some kind of fucking thing, man. I have no fucking idea. I can't even think right now. I'm so mad, tell you the truth. I can't even think 2 sentences ahead because I'm fucking like, fuck this dude. Yeah, but they're never going to tell me, yeah, they're certified in trespassing in the First Amendment and all this bullshit, this and that, But they'll still arrest you. Like he thinks that an officer can't be recorded at a Tucson City court off duty. Now it's off duty because he wants to be like, oh, I'm an individual. No, you're still, but you want to act like you're on duty with your little costume on and your fucking gun, or with your little walkie-talkie that goes straight to the security guy. Like when he's working at the Tucson City Court, they're working for the fucking security. Security gives them the fucking walkie-talkie. It was like, put it on this channel. When I need to talk to you, I'll hit you up, or if you got anything to say. But they act like they're on fucking duty. They're not on duty. They're off duty. And they just can't arrest people. And as far as the procedures of the court administrative procedures, has procedures that these guys got to follow that they never do. They never do. This dude don't even call it the court administrative orders. He calls it a pamphlet. And he won't even tell me what the name of the pamphlet is because he doesn't know. And because he doesn't know, you only got 5 more minutes. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it goes down. They think they're not going to be able to answer these questions. And I don't know what it is with this walkie-talkie, though, too, because I noticed every time I go live with this JBL audio, for some reason, it's real low. I have a feeling it has to do with the piggies, because it never does that any other time. But anyways, I'm sweating my ass off. I'm sweating bullets. I'm so mad. I'm probably going to go trim Tuck's bushes and zen out. But, yep. So there's an interview tomorrow. Tomorrow, that's with Weingrad. And him, too, he's going to be like, oh, I'm not going to answer any of your fucking questions and stuff like this and things of that nature, and think that he could only answer the questions that he feels like answering, So tomorrow I got Weingrad, and then after that I got Castillo, and then after that I have I have Nepper. So I got all these fucking guys right here, and this guy right here is a nobody. This guy right here is he's a nobody. He's a dude that's like, he tried to get me thrown in same shit that they did to Lane Myers, where they said, all right, you got a pre-release. You get your pre-release. And the pre-release, when I was in there, and they said you can't have any contact with the victim, and you can't return to the scene of the crime, right? And it doesn't matter what crime you committed, whether you have a victim or not. That's what they always put. They have to put that to release you. And they always do, whether you have a victim or not. So like me, they said, you can't have any contact with the victim. You can't return to the scene of crime. I said, I don't have a victim. I don't have a victim. So, and then, well, they said, then you can't return to the scene of the crime. I said, the victim is the cop, and the scene of the crime is the Tucson City Court. So I said, you're telling me that I can't go to the Tucson City Court? I said, I got papers I got to fill out. I got all kinds of stuff that I got to handle over there. And they're like, well, no, let me look into that, because that don't sound right, right? And that's what they said, right? So they went back there, started looking it up. She looked at the cop like, what do I do about this? And then he was like, and I looked at him and I was like, he knows that you're not supposed to be trespassed from his Tucson City Court for recording at that. And it has nothing to do with anything else. You'll see any of the evidence, any of the videos that you'll see all they say is you can't be recording in here. And they turn recording into a trespassing crime or disorderly or harassment. Those are the three charges those are the three charges that the court administrator said that you could be charged with. And then that's what these off-duty cops charge you with, even though they know 122.1 states that we are allowed to record in the courthouse. You see what I'm saying? Because that court, you seen what that cop did. He tried to act stupid as fuck. He went through 122.1C. I had him read it out. Oh, but exceptions, right? And he was thinking the exceptions were going to say the courthouse. Like, you can't record in the courthouse or anywhere in the courthouse. He doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking about, but he thought he was so slick about that. With that real 122.1. And then when I had him read C, and it says are permitted, but restrictions apply. And then when it said not in the courtroom or without that individual's express consent, or and he was like, oh, I'm considered an individual. Oh, now you're considered, I thought you were considered an on-duty fucking cop that has arresting capabilities off duty, whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean. So they tell you shit like that, and then they want you to be like, oh, okay. And then if you try and question that shit, then he gets like, you got 5 more minutes, or I'm not answering that and this and that. Like, they have a choice. And so that's what they don't understand. And so I'll do that. I already got motions in and all this shit to compel these witnesses to talk, because that's what they've been doing, is they don't want to answer. They don't want to answer any questions. Like, when I asked him if he had any disciplinaries, he says he's not going to answer that, because it has nothing to do with my case. You see what I'm saying? Because he didn't have nothing to do with my case. Because he didn't have nothing to do with my case. He just, he said that he took it upon himself to say, oh, this guy's been arrested, like they tried to do me like they did Lane. And they've done that to me before, except for they gave me a high bond, and Tucson, Lori, and Tuck ended up paying that off. It was like $2,500 to get me out. And they paid it. But the thing is, though, is like they don't return to the scene of the crime and don't talk to the victim. The victims are cops, and the fucking return to the scene of the crime is the Tucson City Court. And so that's what he tried to do. He's like, oh, I'm going to be a little fucking pussy, and I'm going to go look this dude up. And because he's not supposed to be here. Wow, right? He's not supposed to be at the Tucson City Court because he's not American or something. I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. See, and I want to ask him all those questions, but see, after this, I have to ask him a bunch of questions to get rid of a bunch of stuff, so that way he has no excuses at the end. But he wasn't going to answer anything at the beginning, so he wasn't going to answer anything at all. But yeah, so what he said is I just outside the courthouse taking pictures on the inside at security and through security into the lobby, like making it sound like all crazy, like I'm from spying inside the courthouse or something, and that I physically touched it twice. I physically touched the building twice, and he even got the camera and all that stuff. But when he talked to the Tucson city attorney, she told him to stop fucking crying and that none of that shit's illegal and stop acting like a fucking pussy. You're supposed to be a cop. But he doesn't know no better. But it's all right though, because you'll see on these next interviews, they're not going to be doing what they're doing this shit right here. They're not going to keep doing what they're doing right here, because I'll get as many fucking interviews as I need for him to answer any of these motherfucking questions, and I don't know, and maybe doesn't cut it. But anyways, yeah, this is Tucson, Arizona. This Tucson, Arizona is Tucson Police Sucks channel. I hijacked it. I hijacked this shit. And I'm all cussing my ass off in his kitchen. Yep, and I'm cussing my ass off in his kitchen. That's all it's going down, guys. Just venting after that fucking cop. But that's the best part of it. That's the best part of it, is that these cops think that they got fucking pull. They think they got pull. They think they got control. They think they got all this other bullshit, and they don't have to answer to any of their crimes or have to answer to any of their actions, or that they don't have to take accountability for anything. That's the only reason that they're arresting us for these for recording. It just all has to do with them not wanting to take accountability for their actions or take responsibility. They don't want to any of that stuff. The transparency fucking drives them nuts. And that's what's crazy, is that petition 122.1 in there, it's showing that, hey, 122.1 states that they are allowed to do this and they are allowed to do that. What we're petitioning is that instead of saying that they're allowed to, saying that they're not allowed to in some weird way, shall, may kind of shit, you know. And so they want to change the wording around from, because right now they know that it's legal. That's why they have a petition to say, hey, could you guys change this? Because these guys keep recording us and showing everybody that how fucked up a fucking system we are. You know, they're fucking up our grant money. They're fucking up this and that, you know. And these cops have been running around for 22 fucking years acting like they're above the law. They don't have to answer for anything. Like, he doesn't even know he says he knows what trespassing is, but then he says he doesn't know what trespassing is. You see what I'm saying? But he doesn't know what trespassing is. You know, but they're arresting me for trespassing, and yeah. So they think that they got me. They think that they could get me. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit, because it's a city court, and that's what these motherfuckers don't understand. And see, and he should know that. He should be like, all right. And he knows that the city court administrator, or the city prosecutor, Heather Zapata, told him, no, you can't do this, and the reason why is because of this, you know. And so he doesn't want to say that, because then it goes with everything with the court administrative rules. That goes against Rule 122.1. That goes against everything that they know. It sucks. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But yeah, 122.1. So if he admitted that, then he would pretty much be saying, all right, this court administrative rule is bullshit, and the court administrative rule that refers to 122.1 is incorrect, and they know it's incorrect because they're doing a petition right now to change the wording of it to make it to where they could arrest us and do all that other bullshit that they've been doing all these years. Arresting us. And it's a court administrator. She'll point their fingers at us and saying, I don't want those guys to be recording in here. And then she'll tell off-duty cops, as if they're police, like if she's in their chain of command. And she'll tell them, arrest them. And so off-duty cops can arrest you. I mean, they could arrest you like if I just start punching on some dude, or if I break a window, or say I don't even think like if I'm smoking crack or anything like that. You know what I mean? I think if I hurt somebody or do something like that. But they could have some kind of arresting capability or something like that. But not because I'm recording, and not because they're there working a security position. So that means that they're off. I don't get what he means, off-duty, on-duty cops. And I don't, if you guys watch that and you guys understand that, I don't understand that. When he says that he's an off-duty, off-duty moonshining cop. But anyways, I'm gonna let it go, guys. You guys have a good one. You turning your shit off, Tuck?
Yep. Hit the X. Turn it off. You gotta shut it off.